Check in 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, ladies, we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Yep. The older man is up and running. Let me know if you guys can hear me. It's my morning voice. Got my coffee. Whew. It's early over here, man. Let me see if my headphones are up. Let's see who's in the house. White Goodman. Good morning. Well, it's good evening. Hey, Doug. Love you, dog. Love you too, brother. Yeah, man. Got my coffee. I'm ready to go. Well, I don't know. You guys seen this, the title? We're going to talk about young women today, man. Good evening to you, sir. Yep, you guys are coming in. I'm going to give it another 2-3 minutes. So let me know if the volume is okay, if the music is all right. I'm trying to keep it nice and low in the background. This one is to try to help a lot of men, especially men who have daughters. I have 2 daughters, you know, so it's challenging in today's world, man. And if you don't have daughters, we still have to navigate young women, because we want young women, right? That depends on how you talk about how young. But these are all the things that we have to consider as men. Yes, it's 8 o'clock in New York right now. Yes, gentlemen, we're living in crazy times right now, man. Whew. How's gas prices over there in your side of the world? Yeah, it's pretty simple. Don't have sex till you get married, and love is a psyop. Marriage is for children, nothing else. Okay? Good evening to you, sir. Oh, Madame Lisa. Oh, thank you. You're back again. Oh, man. You're my regular. Good evening to you, Lisa. Oh, yeah, horrible. $4 to $5 in the Midwest. Whoa. Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Man. Guten Morgen. Wie geht's? I'm good, man. I'm good, brother. Dankeschön. Yeah. Love Germany, man. Germany was one of the first places I went to when I realized, holy crap, I can't believe how clean a city could be, man. Yeah, that was a long time ago though. I haven't been back in about 23 years. When it's ugly, when the edge is haunted, you don't flex for a stranger, you show up for your clan, you don't beg to be chosen, you become that man. Oh, stay focused, eyes front, hands ready, heart open, move with purpose. Topic today, I'm going to focus on 20 things or 20 recommendations I can do for young girls, man. There it is, 20 modern life lessons for young women. I'm going to go through my list. And of course, you guys can add to the list as well. And I'd love to hear your recommendation. Let me turn the music down. Reality of it is that we need to rescue our young women, man. The young generation is in serious trouble. And a lot of them are lost. Right now, I think one of the greatest threats to the young generation is AI. And unfortunately, it's going to affect women and young women, especially in today's environment. Simply because it's going to take a lot of the entry-level job. Well, it's not going to. It's already taken a lot of the entry-level jobs that most young women use to get into the job market. So if we cut off that route for young women to actually start earning money, where else are they going to turn to actually, get some sort of sustainable life initially? I mean, we got to think about it like that. If a young woman isn't, she's not a trader, she's not in the stock market, she's not in any fields that involve technology. Usually a young girl can easily enter into, a secretarial position, clerical position, etc. And a lot of those jobs are going away. Mr. White Goodman, we can't just say that. We can't just say a lot of them are prostitutes. I don't save them. You can't say that. It's almost like a defeatist attitude. And I think as mature, older generation of men and women, we have to reach the young generation before it becomes a problem. We have a duty as the older generation to realize that those little young suckers coming up, they are going to be voting when our asses are so old that we're not going to have much control over the environment. These are the ones that are supposed to be taking care of us when we're getting older. So if we don't groom them to be better human beings, then we are literally sacrificing ourselves. That's all I'm saying. We have skin in the game, Women are in trouble. A sex robot can tell men to take out. Can't. It should be can't tell men to take out the trash. I get it. We got to stop just looking at it from a sexual perspective. Society on a whole is in trouble. I have to watch this live today because I have 2 daughters, although they're still young toddlers. Yeah, blink twice, they're going to be teenagers. That's what happened to me. Yep. Yeah, $3.70 to sheets to 30 per gallon. Columbus, Ohio. And most people will say, hey, that's pretty good gas. You still got pretty good prices. Over here in Dubai, I think it's $2.25 to $2.35 a gallon. Still incredibly low for Dubai. I mean, the cost of living over here is lower. We got really good low gas prices. But I did a video a couple of days ago, women who were talking about, I don't need a man with these gas prices. You better realize that, hey, everything is going to go up in price. And this is another thing. Young women out there on their own trying to survive is going to be a lot more difficult because the cost of everything is going to go up right now. And this is worldwide. So what do you tell your young ladies? What do you tell your young child? Well, let's stop using the word child. I'm thinking more along the lines of, how do you get a young woman? And let's talk. For me, let me take a step back. When is it that you should really start sitting down and talking to your young child about life, the realities of life? Saving money, making sure that she's responsible. I think all of this should start really, really young. 7, 8, 9, responsibilities should start. Cleaning her own room, washing the dishes, cleaning the house, doing yard work, etc., etc. All of these things should start extremely young. So you start to get her to understand responsibility from a really young age. Make her realize not everything is reward driven. There's just certain things you got to do because it helps other people. So let's now talk about, once a woman reaches, teenage and she's out of school, what is it that we should be teaching our kids from there on? Brother said, society is in trouble, but look at the AI bubble that NVIDIA tried to create. Finally popped, and they are slowing down the expansion of AI. So the problem with society, that bubble will pop also. Yeah, I think we need to stop sticking our heads in the sand thinking that this is an AI bubble. The technology is already available. When you say bubble, the bubble for the investors is there for sure, but the technology itself isn't going anywhere. It's already out there. Let me explain it to you like this. Remember when the internet just started to blossom and everybody jumped on the what do you call it? Building internet pages. I remember when, if you wanted to build an internet site, man, it could cost you upwards of $150,000 to $200,000. Now you're getting that for free. So the website and web page bubble bursts, but the technology is still there. You still can't make $100,000 off of building a website. There were guys that their primary job was to build websites. So what you're seeing now is, yes, there has been a massive bubble for the AI revolution where people are making a shitload of money and companies are growing huge. At the end of the day, I think there will be one major king of the hill, and that will be Google. Google, Gemini, and all of the other products that revolve around Google. Notebook LM, Nano Banana, all of these, they will reign supreme. There will be a certain winners, but most of it will be cheap as dirt to use. Let me know if I'm wrong. Let's see. I'm 27, but I've been watching content like Kevin Samuel, since 22 and applying his knowledge and been watching yours for 2 years. You definitely give good teaching and help me tremendously. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My daughter's 3.5 years old and they're doing some house chores already. Exactly. That's when I started mine. Just small stuff. Tidying her room. That's where it starts. Just a playful way. They should become good housewives one day. Paul, I hope your family's doing well. Yeah, man, we're doing great. We're doing great. I mean, in what respects? I mean, my wife's job is severely affected by, this whole downturn. It's amazing how a lot of these huge life-changing events will affect your income, man. Her business took a hit from COVID, and now this event made it even worse. So it's on a massive decline. So it shows you once again, if she wasn't married, it would be a lot worse for her being on her own. And this is another reason why I really, really encourage women to be good women so that you can actually find a good man to actually do life with. Because I can tell you, having 2 incomes is much, much, much safer for life than having one. Gas is $3.39 in Georgia. Is that high? I don't know if that's high or low. In the Cayman Islands, it's $6. So it's relative, right? Let me know what Cayman. If anybody here from Cayman, let me know what the current gas prices are. So, my first life lesson to women. I have a list here, so I'm reading off my list because I can't hold them all in my head. Too old for that shit. Financial independence is non-negotiable for women. You got to develop a sense of financial independence. Yes, my friend, without a doubt. Paul, not wrong. I paid $10 for AI code agent. Yep. You got to understand how to use AI, because that's the important part. They said, people aren't going to lose jobs to AI. They're going to lose jobs to other people using AI. So you either jump on the bandwagon or you're going to be left behind. I make sure that my daughters are constantly consuming everything about AI, regardless of what they're doing, what they want to do in life. They got to know all the AI tools. So it ensures that they have financial independence. And please don't get this mixed up. I'm not teaching my daughters to be strong and independent. I'm teaching them to be good, responsible adults. I don't want my daughters to walk into a man's life and say, I'm not financial independent. I want her to be able to walk into another man's life and say, hey, I can hold my own. What are you offering, and how can we build a family together? How can we go from here? I am not here to be a burden on you. I'm here to build with you. So that's the reason for financial independence. So that, and it's not there as an insurance policy, or I should say, it is also there as an insurance policy if shit hits the fan, right? But I'm also explaining to her that being financially independent isn't an excuse for her to be able to walk away just because she's going to be okay. Because relationship is based on staying and working through the hard times. And being with her mother for 22 years, showing her the arguments the makeup, the kissing, the hugging after, we cool down. Showing her that, hey, this is normal. We don't walk away. We don't discuss getting out. We simply talk about how we're going to make it work. That's it. So there's a combination of a whole ecosystem that is involved with relationships. And when you listen to stuff on the internet about, oh, you got to be financially independent, any shit, you can get out, girl, and you can walk away, blah, blah, blah. It isolates every single incident into this thing that if this don't happen, you can just easily do that. Not realizing there's an in-between. Well, okay, why don't we just work it out? Why don't we just relax, breathe, take a break, work it out? Because I can tell you, 100% of the arguments that my wife and I have, once we go through a little cool down, we realize, what the hell were we arguing about? There's a bigger picture here that has to be worked. Okay, so we have to understand this. When you impose limits, you live within the limits. When you remove limits, you will expand beyond them. When you don't recognize you need limits, teaching this. Okay, cool. I hear you, brother. Number 2, hypergamy is real. I explained to my daughters that you got to understand your hypergamous nature. The point is, you'll want a high value man, but so will every other woman. Top 10 to 15% of men get the majority of attention on apps. That's a reality. Despite what the freaking movies and the internet try to tell you that's not real. Well, mainstream media like to pump this in your head that no, that's not really true. It is true. But here's the thing, that I tell my daughters. You're not competing with average women. You're competing for the top tier men. You need to ask yourself, what is it those men want? Because a lot of women do not ask that question. They think that they're just going to produce the sexiest version of themselves, and then that man must want them. But when that man don't choose them for partners, just sexual objects, then they get bitter and mean, think that all men are like dogs. So I teach my girls, understand hypergamy, but understand that you also have to find a good man in order for him to find you viable to grow with. So stop. You almost have to learn to suppress your hypergamous nature. And I always like to refer back to their mother. She could have done better. But the point is that she stuck with me, through the good and the bad times. Simple. Third thing I tell my daughters, respect over attention every single time. Attention is cheap. Respect is earned. Much more valuable. You can get all the attention you want simply by posting a few bikini pics. Walking out of the house with, your ass cheeks out or titties popping, etc. But are you getting respect? That is a different story. Because a man knows that attention is very cheap. We all know that. Every woman out there now is showing her ass cheeks or popping titties or stupid fake eyelashes or whatever you want. Some stupid enhancements that they think that is what men want. And that's going to get them respect. No, it gets you attention. Doesn't get you respect. Respect comes from something else, man. Let me know what you guys think. A lot for Michael said a lot of forget. A lot of them, I assume would say it. A lot of them forget he must want you back. Love is a two-way street. Exactly. High value men are getting harder and harder to obtain. Yeah, because I think today's modern women don't offer anything beyond sexual activity these days. The point is that a lot of women think that their sexuality is all that men want, and that's all she has to bring to the table. You guys can join me in the conversation if you wish as well. So here's a question I need to ask a lot of you ladies and men. At what age should a woman start thinking seriously about family planning? At what age do you think this should occur in today's modern society? That's the question. And if any of you ladies out there are listening to me, I want you guys to tell me that. What age? Because it's an important question that a lot of young women have to learn. And I'm not talking about baby daddies. That isn't family planning. That is baby planning. In fact, I definitely have a 6-foot boyfriend who has a software engineer, who's a software engineer. That's great, honorable traits. If you get on his program, understand that. Absolutely, ladies, be hypergamous. Don't abuse him. Respect him. Yeah. Better at age 20 to 25 to start a family and getting married. Not that late like me. Okay. Okay, you can't just leave that there. What age did you get married, or did you ever get married? Women need to be taught that the only good man keep in their life is a man that's going to be husband, or a husband who's going to guide them. Yeah. Okay, so women need to think about starting a family at 26 to 29. No. Okay. As they get older, they lose options. Absolutely. Well, I tell my daughter, 22, you should be seriously looking at getting married at 22. 22, you should have already had your eye on that man. Meaning you should be dating that man already that you're going to be marrying. 22 years old. And the reason for that is, I always encourage men, you want to be able to understand a woman. It's going to take 2 to 3 years. The thing is, every woman thinks that she got time. And that's another thing that I teach my daughters. You don't have time. You get paid in life abundance from the age 16, from the time that you hit age of consent. You are given $1 million, and it is quickly eroding as you, number one, destroy your body with many sexual partners, drugs, alcohol, crazy wild partying, wasting time. And by the time you're 27, 28, 29, 90% of that value is gone. And that money you had is for your opportunity to buy the best man that you can. And that basically means that you got to fall into that window where you can get the best man at your youngest age. Because value, sexual market value, is declining rapidly. And it's the opposite for men. So when you say women need to think about starting a family at 26, 29, that is too late. Divine photos, I think that's too late. Because by the time you think about it, you haven't realized that you now have a find a man that is willing to get you, and you have that woman has to be physically fit, friendly, feminine, childless, with a low body count. You gotta find a man that will accept you, that you like at that age. And that could take years. It's taking longer and longer now for women to actually find eligible men. So by the time you look around, if you're thinking about it between the age of 26 and 29, let's just say you start that at 26. It's going to take you 3 to 4 years to find that man. You're at 30. Just to find a man. Then that man has to decide whether you're going to be viable. So that's why I said, and then that man has to decide whether you want to have kids. I mean, there's so many things to keep in mind. That's why I say start earlier. I came to my teens in the 1970s, and they used to have home economic classes in school and teaching how to be housewives. They were removed from school. The church removed how to find a good man. Yeah. A lot of things have changed, man. A lot of things have changed. Hey, listen, guys, like this video, please. I keep forgetting to ask you guys that, but it does help with the algorithm to, throw this out to more people. Please give me some likes on the video so that it can be pushed out to more people. Capitalize on your youth. Yes, exactly. Capitalize on your youth and beauty. I started at 22. I made a wife resume. Went to Maggie's sub teachings. Finished school. Yes. And made myself a feminine asset. Ladies, if you want to win while building yourself a career, thank you. And that's the thing. I don't understand why we have been taught, especially in the black community, ignore the man, focus on school. Why the hell you can't do both? Sorry. I don't understand why they have not been told do both. I tell my girls, focus on both. Build a career, focus on a man. Go to school, build a career, focus on a man. They can all be done. There's nothing wrong with multitasking. But for some reason, you can go to school and get dicked down by multiple men. And apparently that's easier. Tell me how that's easier. You can go to college and have a rotation of men. Apparently that's easier. Not being settled, your brain relaxed with one guy. Studying together, helping each other out. One man. Finding one good guy. No, have a rotation. Chaos while you're studying. Hell no. At 28, that's more of an outlier. Not a complete exception, but definitely an outlier. 2 to 3 years vetting is now pushing 30. This is the thing. New to the chat, Paul, I want to add to the discussion. Cool. If you want to do it live, if you want to come on live, no problem at all. Just, you see that QR code in the top. that side. You can click on that if you can see it, or there's a link that you can get into. And let's have a chat. Okay, I read that one already. Next, let's go to number 4. Become valuable before seeking value. This is a serious one. All right. You got to build yourself, ladies. You have to build yourself. And what I mean by build yourself, you have to understand what men want. It was Dr. Orion Taraban that had a show the other day, and it really hit home. Simply because I come from sales as well. And he said, you know, women don't even know how to sell themselves, right? They enter into a date telling men what they want, not realizing that if you're selling yourself, you don't enter as a salesperson telling the customer what you want. You tell the customer what you can offer them. And it just made perfect sense. I just thought it was a perfect analogy. The idea that a woman will think that when she goes into a date, she tells the man what she's looking for only. That's the equivalent of, you know, imagine going by a car and the salesperson said, okay, this is what I want. I want you to give me the money because my rent's due. I need you to give me the money and buy this car because I need to take care of my kids. I need you. And he starts telling you all the things he needs or she needs if you buy the car. Don't make sense, right? Women tend to approach this as if the man is looking at investing in her, but not getting anything back. So the idea is, I will tell my daughter, build value and show the man that you have value to him. Delusional vagina ego. Yeah. But you agree. There's nothing you can disagree with there. The sales job women do on themselves, modern women will tell you everything. And he can't pay my bills if he can't do this. He can't have. Like, am I supposed to just jump on that offer? Like, oh, okay, I could pay your bills. All right, I'll jump in there with you, girl. How much student loan debt do you have? How much credit card debt you have? I'll pay for that. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. I'm there. Hell no. No. So I tell my daughters, hey, listen, build yourself first. Become valuable before seeking value. Fit, feminine, cooperative woman get better outcomes. I encourage them to build that. In other words, don't shop for a king with a peasant mindset. That's the best way I can put it. Yes, you all want to win in the dating market. Learn men's nature, learn women's nature. Make yourself incredibly valuable. Work on those soft skills. Position yourself to do the inner work. Yeah, I like him as well. I love Orion. You know, I love to listen to a variety of different content creators. You know, I'm always learning. You know, one thing I do is, and this is why I always encourage my daughters as well, to never think that they know it all. And the same message go to all of you. I mean, I've been around a long time. I've experienced a shitload of things that you guys have no idea. But I still realize that I am always learning. It doesn't stop. Yep. Sup, old man. I'm good, buddy. I'm good, brother. I'm right here, man. Doing my thing. The fifth thing I talk to my daughters about. Biology doesn't care about biology doesn't care about your opinions, okay? Fertility window is real, my friends. Okay? It is real. Paul, some men do, unfortunately. They call them pay pigs now. They find pleasure in being abused financially. It's mental. Yeah, but listen, pay pigs are it's a fringe group. I don't even want to even use that word fringe because that makes it even more than it should be. That's a fetish. Let me put it that way. Some men have this bloody fetish that they could do this. And it's absurd. I call them super simps. You know? But that's a fetish. I like to deal with the minority of men. Yeah, that transactional mindset is really harmful. And it repels men. And that's the thing. Let's see. I don't have daughters yet, but if I do, what would be your advice for boyfriends once she becomes older? I'm going to get into that a little later, but just to answer your question, I mean, there are so many things that you have to understand about a man. I would strongly suggest that she get that boyfriend vetted by another man, and that man has no sexual interest in her. Father, uncle, cousin, etc. Because men can see through the bullshit of other men. Most women cannot see it because a lot of them just get into their emotion and, you know, the sexual part, etc. So once that brain has been clouded by emotion, it's hard for her to see the true nature of the man, and that man must be vetted by another man. I think that's the best way I can put that. Let me know if you guys agree with that or not. Egg freezing is not a good optional and expensive. Yes, let's not even encourage that shit, because I don't think women should even look at that as an option. How can you tell if someone is lying on their body count? You can only tell that if over time there will be signs. And this is another reason why I tell men, take your time when selecting a woman, because she can lie about her body count, but her actions will show it over time. And it might be 3 to 6 months. It could be 2 to 3 years, depending on who she is and how well she masks it. If your daughter gets involved with a man younger than her, what would you tell her, if anything? It depends on how well that man is navigating life. If he's younger, meaning, is it 2 to 3 years, 5 years? And how old is she versus him? Because some young men develop quite fast. They're focused, they're disciplined, they've been taught well by their parents. And these young men, you know, they did the college, they did the work, or they've done the trade, and they work hard, and they're very focused. I mean, I opened my first business at 19. I was a focused dude. 19. By the time I was 24, I had my fitness business, and I'm talking about a gym, not some walking around a physical location. I signed my first lease agreement at 19. And by the time I was 24, I had a marketing and publishing firm as well. So I was extremely focused. So we have to understand that, yeah, You can have a younger guy, but it depends on how much he's put into life early. Your 22-year benchmark is spot on. Society wants to entrust young girls as wise adults, but we refuse to acknowledge adulthood and choose to come with, and choices come with consequences. Yeah, exactly. This is why when you say 22, most people balk at the idea of a young girl settling down as a young. But like you said, sexual market value is highest, meaning peak at 22. Yet a roster in college is perfectly fine. Thank you. You're seeing this reality. 22 is when you make sure you lock down the best man possible, because that's when men are looking for the youngest and the brightest and the fittest at that point. And this idea of settling down, I'm trying to discourage you guys from telling women about this whole fun phase. That is their worst nightmare. Let's say she's 23 and he's 20. My daughter's 25 and her boyfriend is 22. If he's a mature, hardworking, focused 22-year-old, there's nothing wrong with that. She obviously sees something in him, as long as it's just not some sexual thing. I mean, you must have a man vetting him to see whether he got his shit together. You opened your first business at 19, but you were an admitted what? FB? Yeah. No young male has the capacity to respect a lady. That's bullshit. You're looking at today's young men. And even today, I see a lot of young men over here who are very respectful. I'm seeing them come across my daughter all the time. A lot of them are very respectful. Bottom line is, man, I had 9 jobs before I left high school. So you got to understand that my mentality was different. The biggest problem is that the majority of society is lower class, and this is what is targeted. And most lower class are more manipulated, weak men, and strong, independent money produces money. Strong and independent money produces money. I got to read through that a little bit, but easier. I don't know. I'm not getting that one, buddy. Lower class. Okay. Let's see. That's crap. I'm a Gen Z and my boyfriend is young and very respectful. Yeah, you're right. Houston spring break, 3 million. SUVs, 45,000 ended up spring break. Yeah. Is my question too much? Don't want to cross lines. No, boss. No? Let me see what your question. I've been raised around mainly men, mother not around. I was told I'm emotionally cut off. Is that a bad thing? No. Why is it a bad thing? If you identify that you have a deficiency somewhere, I think that in itself tells you something, that it isn't a bad thing. Knowing you have a problem is one thing. Doing something about it is different. So it's like saying, okay, I know I'm fat. And because I'm fat, I'm going to use that as an excuse to be belligerent to other people who are not fat, or people who call me out on being fat. But if I'm fat and I decide I'm going to lose weight, and I'm working hard and losing weight, and I acknowledge I'm fat, and I'm being humble with other people and asking questions about, hey, how to lose weight, etc. That's just life. You go and you lose your weight. In other words, work with what you got and just focus on that, man. I hope that analogy was good enough. I haven't gotten enough coffee in yet. No worries, brother. I respond to them all, man. Great content. Oh, I lost that one. To be aware of one's own crap flaws is a great cause. Now you can exactly that. Thank you. If I had a 22-year-old daughter, I'd help her find a 30 to 35-year-old built man who has earned his options, but dearly demonstrates he wants a family and sweet chase woman. Yeah, he earned value. She inherited. And that's the thing. A man who's 10 years old, it's not a problem at all. And because you want to have an insurance that the man has already demonstrated that he's built, why the hell not? There's nothing wrong if my daughter, was proposed to by a 30-year-old man when she's 22, I would say, hell yeah. If that man has built himself and he's proven that at 30 or 32 that he has built life where I can see that she's going to be well taken care of, by all means, yes. Her job is to learn from him. And this is another thing that a lot of women don't get that blows my mind. This idea that women encourage young girls to experience different men so that she could have experience is one of the biggest pile of bullshit that women tell each other. One man should build a woman so that that's his woman. The idea that that girl should be manipulated by multiple amount of men in their crazy world, and it's usually the bad boys that she's picking, a whole bunch of bad boys, right? She should have all of these variety of men destroy her mind to build her experience so that when she comes to one man, now she has trauma. Now that is constituted, that is what they call life experience that she'll bring to that one man that she'll settle down with. It blows my mind every single time that this is how women think. Oh, you just want a young girl so you can manipulate her. Yes. That is the point. One man should manipulate her, if you want to use that word. But that's not the word that they should be looking. That's the man that should build her. That's the thing. It means that the men aren't being taught how to be men, and women are taught to be strong and independent. Women spend more money on stupid things because of propaganda. Weak men spend money on stupid things. Yes, I agree. But what are you trying to say? Yeah, reality of it is that a lot of young men aren't taught how to be men, and women are taught how to be prostitutes. We have a messed up world here, and that's why I'm trying to guide you guys into understanding that these are the principles that I think modern women should be taught. And a lot of men are still thinking that if you cannot apply the old rules of the stay-at-home mom type mentality, to a modern woman. We have to adapt and realize that the world that we know has now changed significantly. And the one major rule that a lot of women have to realize is that finding a man, one man, that can provide for a family is extremely rare. Most men today cannot survive alone with a family. Not in a modern society. Not in a city. Economically, it's just not possible. So you have to actually bring your own independence to the table. A woman has to bring her independence to the table. A woman has to bring her maturity to the table. And the reason why I define it like that is simply this. Your maturity will determine how much credit card debt you have, how much student loan you have, how you have conducted your life to the point where you're not a liability when you're walking into another man's life. Because when you actually marry a man, you're not only bringing your assets to that man or joining together, you're bringing your liabilities as well. That man is now responsible for all of the debt that you bring into the marriage. So if you're looking to marry a man where you have been highly irresponsible, you're not an asset anymore. You're a liability. And we got to get serious about what marriage is if we're going to look at marriage or even getting involved with as a partnership. It is a union of your finances. Because I can assure you, and I've been here, when a woman comes into your life, gentlemen, and she has debt, credit card debt, and you love her, and she's in pain, the credit card companies are calling, and she can't find the money, etc. And she gets into that, honey, I don't know, I'm so upset, I can't pay my bills, I can't do this. And what is your job as a man? Your job as a man is to take away any pain that she has. That's your job. You feel that. That is instinctive. I can assure you. You'll be like, okay, babes, well, listen, I got some extra money coming in this week. Hey, I can put in a few extra hours this week. Don't worry, baby, I can get rid of that. Boom. All of a sudden, you're providing for her. It's easy. What I'm saying is the problem is manipulation so the rich can be richer. Gotcha. Too many women and men are caught in this cycle. So there's just bad apples, not bad seeds. Yeah, you're right. I get what you mean now. Freedom from something will solve a lot of problems, but it doesn't solve the problem of purpose. Yes. There is no such thing as a modern man. You're either beta, alpha. Americans, we love those little terms, don't you? Bottom line is that when I say modern man or in today's environment, right? A modern man is no longer considered traditional. Traditionally, a man basically would go out and provide, get a job where he can provide for his family, where his wife can stay at home, take care of the kids, etc. Those days are gone. I cannot. You tell me where, in which city, where a man can make less than $150,000, that he could live in a city and provide for 2 kids and a wife with today's school prices and cost of living. You tell me. I mean, and live where both of you guys are happy. And when I say happy, I mean contented. Because I can tell you, it's freaking hard And you might be able to do it for a while, a decade, 2 decades, but are you actually living? You could live, sorry, I should say you could live, but are you putting anything away? Are you investing any money for your future? Because a lot of us live in this day and age where we live and we can pay the bills, but the bills aren't enough. Because if you're not investing something for your future, you're screwed. You're screwed. That 401k isn't going to freaking take care of you. And that brings us to number 6. I tell my daughter, you have to have some skills. Your relationships can fail, but your skills don't. Have skills. Because you can get a divorce, you can get laid off. You know, the AI will disrupt your life. But you need a skill to keep you going just in the event that it happens. And skills can vary significantly. Writing skills, creating web design. I mean, there has to be some skills. When I moved to Dubai, I basically just wanted to move away from business for a while. My wife said, okay, I can take up the slack. We got a good job, no problem. I became a photographer. I took that skill and I created a very successful business. Because I can't help myself. Right? So having skills are essential. So I always tell my daughters, you have your main job, but make sure you have skills. Learn how to sew. Learn how to create YouTube videos. Write books. I mean, something. Yeah, living and existing are not the same. Thank you, Sean. No alpha male lives in the city. Alphas work in the city but live outside of the city. I make 100K in the city, but my family never sees the city. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. 100%. I'm doing pretty much the same thing over here in Dubai. But I wouldn't say that's an alpha thing, though. That's just common sense, man. We don't have to label it alpha or beta. It's friggin' common sense. That is as natural to me. Well, and that's just to me. We have to have good life skills to understand that when you start making more money, it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, now I can afford more shit. Because you're back where you started. You're just spending more money. You make more money. I can move further away out of the city and get a place that costs less. That's what I did. Right? The kids didn't need to be close to the school because they graduated from the high school. I could move further out, save a lot more money on rent. Half of Florida is affordable for A to Gs and a family of 4. That's great. On one salary. Then you need to find a guy who makes A to Gs. That part, trade, educational or vocational, I agree. Yeah. Paul, I haven't seen a man that can take care of his family by himself since my dad did it. And he still works 2 jobs when I was a kid. But in today's time, yeah, exactly, man. Cost of living is freaking ridiculous these days, man. Seriously. And all it takes is one event, one COVID, one war. Gas prices shoot through the roof. The food prices haven't hit you guys yet. But I can tell you, because the Strait of Hormuz is closed and fertilizer cannot get through, cost of food is going to skyrocket. Prepare for that shit. I'm telling you, it's coming. the cost of getting you the food, when that kicks in, when the supermarkets start to empty out and gas prices go up and the trucks are to get the food to you, the cost of getting that food to you will go up. There will be a lack of food as the fertilizer starts to dry up and food starts to dry up around the world. We're going to see some serious shit. You have no idea what this war did, man. The problem is a lot of people increase their income, then increase their expenses accordingly. Exactly. Most people can actually get more stability from decreasing expenses without even making an extra dollar. 100%. This is why I always try to encourage you guys to just stop the freaking spending, man. Stop spending money on dumb shit. A lot of you all would be a lot better off. You want to get rid of debt right now? I guarantee you, if you want to get rid of your credit card and just cut it up, go into your garage, go into your storage room and just start pulling everything out that you haven't used in 6 months and just sell it. eBay, on Craigslist, whatever. Just get rid of it for whatever you can get and just dump every dime on your credit card. Trust me, you can see that thing disappear in no time. And just don't fill it back up. Simple. Americans spend so much money on stuff, just useless stuff that they think they need. There was a survey when I used to sell real estate. There was a survey done by I can't remember the name. I think it was Sotheby's. And they did a tracker on, they put trackers on families who lived in 3-bedroom homes, right? And they realized that the majority of families only use kitchen, like TV room, not even the living room got a lot of attention, bedrooms and bathrooms. And a large percentage of the house were never really touched. So they realized that people were spending money on homes where they didn't even use. So if you think about buying a massive 3 or 4 bedroom house where you don't even use the space, you're just throwing money at the bank for nothing. That's just an example. Now, what they did with all of that space was they just added crap to it. They just bought more stuff and added to it. Now I digressed a bit here, but I want to stay on the female thing, on the girls. Okay, if females weren't giving up the poon so easy, these beta males would find a way to make money to own their own shit. Yeah. Yes, America needs to watch the documentary The Minimalists. We live in such excess. I mean, we like how we spend. We eat too much, spend too much. It's a mess. Thank you. Now, number 7, drop the fantasy man. This is something I always try to get through to women, man. Most men are average. And that's fine. Unrealistic checklists from social media is what's killing a lot of you ladies, man. This is why I tell my daughters, don't look at social media for this crap. You'll miss good men chasing perfect ones. No man comes perfect. None. But we got this idea that, hey, I need that perfect guy. And I got my list and I'm not deviating from my list. Blows my mind every time. And a lot of these girls don't realize that they fall short significantly. But every woman these days, they honestly think that they are 10s because they have other women telling them that they're 10s. And they haven't enhancements and they have filters that back up this philosophy and this mindset. Of course, the older they get, the longer the list becomes. But I think it's like a bell curve. Okay, once it peaks, they get to their 30s, 35, it peaks, and then when they realize, oh shit, I ain't getting none of this. 35, or 36, 37, 38, and then the list. By the time they hit 50, they're like, yeah, okay, as long as he's breathing, I'm happy. It's true, man. So I just tell them, you're not going to find a perfect man. Find a good enough man. You won't meet someone who's 100% perfect. Find someone who you respect and admire. Stop overinflating your value and finding someone who meets most of your requirements. That's it. Yeah, the bell curve, it just popped into my head. Yeah. So that's one thing I try to explain to my daughters 100%. And of course, social media is not real life. It really distorts reality for a lot of women. Highlight reels and real relationships. They are two totally different things, man. But it's amazing how the female brain interprets information. Women's brains have vivid colors. It's a lot different from a man's logical brain. Our neural network is significantly different, where it combines all of these beautiful pictures. So when she sees all of these highlight reels on Instagram and TikTok, and then combine the messages coming from women about, oh, how my husband did this for me and how he did this and I got flowers, and oh, and you know what? If he doesn't buy you flowers today on Valentine's Day, kick him to the curb. And all of these messages combine into one massive story of affection. It's not one message, Gentlemen, you got to understand, it's not just one message that she sees. It's a combination of messages coming from a variety of different sources in many different forms. And they all combine into one amazing story. And that is what gets a lot of women to think that this is actually real. You then combine that with her posting her stuff, and then women reinforcing how hot and how beautiful she is, and men and the simps out there who telling her, hey girl, you're hot, oh, you're beautiful, oh, you're queen, blah, blah, blah. You combine all of that shit, that woman's in trouble. Gentlemen, I want you to reverse the roles. And this is something I was thinking about. Because a lot of you guys blame women, right? But I just want you to just think about this for a second. If you were given $1 million at age 16, $1 million, age 16, never had to work for it. Here's your $1 million, brother. Go out and do whatever you want with it. What would you do? I just want you guys to just put that in your head. Just visualize. I know, might be going back a ways back. Try to go into 16 and you were just, boom, $1 million dropped on your doorstep. Do whatever you want with it. The note attached. What would you do with that $1 million as a young man? I am sure, 99% sure, fast car, bike, traveling, some partying. And you never had a man or anyone else to tell you what to do with that money. That is the equivalent of what young women have to navigate in today's environment. She gets $1 million in beauty, fertility, the essence of everything that a man wants. The admiration, everything. What do you think she's going to do with that if she don't have freaking guidance? Yeah. So I always try to visualize it from a woman's perspective if I was giving her opportunities. And let's just say, hypothetically, it's not even money. You were given all of the opportunities from a sexual perspective, like a woman have when she was that age. And this is what men have to understand that women have to navigate. In not having a father figure, not having someone to guide her through life to explain that, hey, don't squander these opportunities. That's hard because the dad that should be in the home where she's also being demonstrated mommy's interaction with daddy on a daily basis. The arguments, the makeups, the breakups, the love, the affection, the hugging, the kissing, the discussions, the family unit. She never had that because mommy decided that she wasn't happy when you were 6 years old or 5 years old, and daddy then becomes an accessory that comes by once a week to see you, to take you out to get some ice cream or to do this or to just put together some toy or something, just some crappy thing that, in other words, no real life with that. That's the life that they have. That's the life that most young women have today. Battle of the sexes is actually here. Bottom line, the feminism roots have been growing for a while now. Our conflicted women are sprouting out. Yeah, that's the problem. And that's why I'm trying to actually help you guys to weed out the nasty stuff and also to water and nurture your girls, because it's up to us, man. It's up to us to get it together and right this ship before it tips over. Number 9, stability attracts stability. You attract what you are, ladies. If you offer a man sex, this always come up in a lot of these conversations where a woman says, oh, all men want is sex these days. That's all the man sees. If you are over-sexualizing yourself, you got the titties out, you got the butt cheeks out, you got the freaking lashes, the cum-catching lashes, the freaking fake hair, 10 pounds of makeup, the Wolverine claws, and you look like a freaking clown every day. Just a sexual object. What do you think the man sees? He sees sex. Because everything you demonstrated came from the freaking strip bars and the whorehouses. That's how prostitutes dress. So you can't complain when the man says, okay, that's what you're offering. Okay, I'll take that. Oh, but he hasn't seen me. He hasn't given me an opportunity to see who I am. That's what he sees. First impression counts. You can't judge a book by its cover. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Most people do. So, this point stays stable. Stability attracts stability. So when a woman constantly gets this sort of attraction from men, where men are just approaching her from a sexual perspective, she starts to get frustrated and she starts to look at men from a different perspective. Because some of these men are going to be smooth and then they're going to attract her into having sex with them. And they're going to treat her like a hoe instead of a normal human being. She starts to act unstable. Guy don't commit. Boom. So a chaotic lifestyle gets a chaotic partner. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you reflect, ladies. Remember that. Let me know what you guys think. Pleasure ladies are needed. If it's only pleasure ladies are out there, we will adapt. Yes. Yes. A man will take what he's been offered. If you go to a restaurant and all they serve is freaking fried chicken, okay, I'm hungry. I'll eat the chicken. Well, why didn't you take the vegetables? Oh, there was I didn't see any vegetables on the menu. Oh, we have vegetables there in the back. They're not in the menu. I'm hungry. I hear a guy says he inherited 28 million at 18 and said he was a fool with it. What changed his life was he came close to killing himself in a fast car. There we go. All right, next one. This is number 10. I put this as number 10 because it's just sort of the crown jewel of the whole thing. Understand men properly. Men value peace, loyalty, respect. Men avoid drama, ladies. They avoid women who bring drama to their life, and women do not understand this because to them, calm means boring. That's the problem. But men don't stay where there's constant conflict. He don't. If there's constant drama, no peace, then he will stay away from it. He will leave. And this is what a lot of women fail to understand. All right, I'm going to leave it at 10. I'm going to make another video today with the other 10. I'll cover these briefly, these first 10 and briefly. But I'll make another video today and have that posted with the other 10. Because there's a lot of lessons that young women have to learn. So I'm going to use the rest of this time now for you guys to hit me up with any questions you have, just so that we can get what I call fulfill this part of the channel, which is ask an older man. The point is, I should not be just giving you guys advice all the time. You should be asking me so that you can get a lot more from this channel. Okay? But I'll ask one simple question. Do modern women overestimate their options in dating? That is a big question for a lot of women. And the next one, what's one mistake women don't realize they're making until it's too late? So those are the two questions I'm putting out there to the panel. No, Paul, we don't want peace. We want problems, always. I'm sure a lot of women think romanticize this. No, this is the thing. A lot of women just don't understand that peace for a man is essential. There was a comedian that did a joke. He said, women don't understand the word peace. To them, peace means happiness. That's their definition of peace. But a lot of women don't realize peace is literally just being nothing, doing nothing. Nothing. And that is the big problem. And doing nothing to a woman can't comprehend that. Women can't comprehend the fact that a man can actually sit there and absolutely think of nothing, just clear his brain. They cannot do that. Let's see. Have you ever been in a toxic relationship? And if so, what did you do differently to attract healthier, secure, harmonious relationships? Yes, of course, I have been in toxic relationships. It gets to a point where I think I can change them. I have always been that guy who, yeah, I could change her. She can, I can change her. I was always that Captain Rescue guy. But it gets to a point where it got exhausting. And coming back to that one point, when I met my current wife, I realized that she was a peaceful woman. You know, I tell her all the time, my wife is tall, blonde, was never, ever my sort of ideal look for a woman. Never. But I said I'm going to stop picking women for what I like aesthetically, and start looking for the things that are much more essential for a harmonious life. And that's what I did. So I just changed my whole perception of what I should look for after my second divorce in a woman for long term. And it worked. And that's why we're still together 22 years later. You know? Captain Save a Hole. I can't do it. Exactly. Good night, older man. Good night. Good. Happy people. I'm going to watch the live stream later in the day. Thank you for everything. All right, brother. Take care of yourself, man. Yeah. I hope that answered your question about toxic women. The idea is, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. So I took that to heart. I said, if I keep picking the same bloody woman over and over and over again, and I keep getting the same results, this is stupid. I got to do something different. And that's what I did. I took that one general principle to heart. Stop doing the same dumb shit and expecting different results. Women are not interested in understanding men. They don't ask or get it because they feel it's not necessary whatsoever. They just bounce around from one guy to the next and let the years go by. You're absolutely correct. This is a problem with a lot of women. And it sounds like, we're criticizing women, but we have to call it out because we live in a society that just coddles women's behavior to the point where women think that they're not making any mistakes. But I always say, ladies, if you're not getting the results you want, you are the problem. You're the problem. The world is driven on results. That's it. So you can live in your fantasy world and you can blame whoever you wish, but if you're not getting the results, you can't blame other people. I pursued Asian women for years, but switched to Latinas and found a good one in months. There you go. I agree in toxic with black men, but I love and my men so much, but I took accountability for me choosing that and low standards, but I'm happy in a loving, healthy relationship with a black man. Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with race or skin color, because there are assholes in every single race of people, and skin color, skin tone, etc. I gave you this as I highlighted my wife being blonde as an example of just deviating from my norm, right? But it's a simple example. It's just more of an analogy as opposed to, you know, what is required. So I just want you guys to understand that. But in saying that, there are certain cultures that come with certain characteristics. If the man gets in an argument with his woman, why, if the man tries to leave, they always try to stop it? Most women hate rejection, and a man leaving is him rejecting her. And that triggers something in a woman that shows her or tells her that she is not worthy. It's one of the worst triggers. It triggers something in a woman, especially when she's told by society that she's the prize and she's the this and she's the bee's knees. It tells her that she is not worth what other people have been telling her she's worth, because a man is able to walk away from her. Simple. The definition of insanity has always been funny to me, not because it's bad, but because I've been told quite a lot of women. I've told quite a lot of women this. Yet they always have some anecdotal reason why Einstein was an idiot. That in itself tells you. Yeah. Tell them this saying came from Einstein. Suddenly that definition makes sense. Yeah. They don't understand where it came from. Yes, it's true. But it is true. I wrote that. I read that one already. All right, my friends, listen. It has come to the 90-minute mark, hour and a half. It has been an absolute pleasure once again coming live. Man, I really enjoy interacting with you guys, you know. Hopefully some of you will be brave enough to join me online. I would love to have more of you guys, you know, talk to me on live, you know, because I want the show to be more interactive. Yeah. But nevertheless, it's always nice to have you guys joining me. So till next week. Yes. Thank you, U.S. Army. Retired. Brother, today's modern woman has a yard, man. Gas, man. Money, man. Lunch date, dude. Yeah, you're right, boss. They're all... It is that way of actually putting men in a position where he's a wallet. And we have these women all over the world. Anywhere you go, man. But what can we say? This is the reality that we are living in, and we have to teach our girls that men are not just wallets. Men are valued more than that. But hey, brother, you came in just under the gun. I'm just about to lock off the live stream. My friends, let's see, let me see the last one. Always wanted me to talk with your person. Sure. Anytime, my dear. You've been very, very interactive. Thank you. And if you ever want to come on live, I'll be more than happy to entertain and to invite you on. Is there a StreamYard link to call in? Yeah. You know what? I got the QR code here. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't think it. Yeah, it didn't automatically hit the StreamYard. It usually in the description of the video. Yeah. It's usually there. You should have mods drop in. You should have mods drop it. Okay, I will work on that. Still getting used to this StreamYard thing. Okay. Cool. I'll work on that. All right, my friends. Thank you so much once again. I really appreciate it. I'm sure I'm going to get better and better at this live stream thing as I get better at it. All right. So I'll see you guys next week. All right. Take care. Cheers. Every step like you already chose it. Build it, rise from the dirt to the sky that climb. Calm mind, strong frame. I remember every word.